How to create and publish a kids KDP coloring book to sell using artificial intelligence is exactly what we're going to be talking about on today. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be showing you in 4 easy steps from start to finish how to do this using Canva AI. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Latoya Nicole and I help women entrepreneurs just like you get to the bag and to the Bible. So if you like this type of content, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe so that I know to keep putting out more content like this. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing we're gonna need to do is decide on our book details. So we're gonna be creating a kids coloring book with mermaids. The dimensions are going to be 8.5 by 11. It's going to have 54 total pages. Now, usually with my coloring books, I only include 24 images to color, but the reason that it's 54 total pages is because you also have to account for things like the "this book belongs to" page, as well as the blank pages behind each page. And the reason that I include blank pages behind each page is so that it will lessen the bleed through onto the next image if someone uses something like a marker to color inside of the coloring book. And then of course, also the book is going to be a paperback book. So these things are going to be very important when we get ready to start working on our book cover, because this is going to help us get the right dimensions so that when we go to submit our book, which we're going to do in step 4, you'll be less likely to get errors. Step 2, we're going to create our interior. So let's get started by going to the KDP Help Center to get our correct interior dimensions. So we're going to be focused on setting the trim size and margin. That's the section that we're going to go to. So we're going to go down to the bleed section, and I just want to explain bleed for you really quick. You have 2 options when submitting your book. You can either select the option for bleed or for no bleed. And so when you think of bleed, think of the picture running to the end of the page. So the bleed goes to the edges of the page, and no bleed actually stops like in the center of the page. It does not extend to the edges of the page. And so we're going to come here and click this one because this is for Amazon.com. This is where we're going to be able to see our page sizes. Now, remember, our page size is going to be 8.5 by 11 inches. So this is the section we're going to be looking at. We're going to be creating our coloring book with bleed extending to the ends of the pages. So we're going to do 8.625 by 11.25. So this gives us the appropriate dimensions that we'll need to enter into Canva. And so Canva has a free plan, and then they also have a Canva Pro plan, which is $15 per month. With the free plan, you can still use the AI generated designs, but they're going to be way more limited than if you had the $15 Pro plan. So you can use my link in the description to start with your free trial for the Pro plan if that's something you're interested in. And because we're going to be using Magic Media, you can generate up to 50 images with the free subscription, or you can upgrade to Canva Pro for 500 uses per month. So depending on just how many books you want to publish and how many images you're going to be using, that's how you can make your determination. All right, so now let's get started creating our design. I'm going to go back to the Canva homepage, and then I'm going to go here to create a design. I'm going to go to custom size. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in those dimensions that we got from the bleed section, which was 8.625 by 11.25. So we can go ahead and start working on our interior. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on create new design. And so now we have our blank page. And so now we're going to set up the margins on our page. So we're going to go back to the trim size section, and we're going to scroll down until we get to the margin section. And so because we have 54 pages, we're going to go to page count. And then this is where we'll be looking. It shows the margins that you'll need if you choose no bleed, and it shows the margins that you'll need if you choose bleed. So because we chose bleed, we're going to be focused on this section. So our outside margins are going to be 0.375 and our inside margins are going to be 0.375. So we're going to go back to our design, and we are going to go to File, Settings, Show Rulers and Guides, and that's going to bring our ruler. And then we're going to drag our ruler over to 0.375. Now we can get it as close as we can, and it's okay if we go a little over because sometimes you can't get it exactly. So we have it at 0.388. That is good enough. Now what I normally do is go into elements, and I'll search for a square. I'll go ahead and bring that square in, and then I'll just drag it over here and line it up like that. And then I will duplicate it, and then I'll also go ahead and bring it over to the other side, duplicate it again. I'll bring it here and rotate it to the bottom. And this is just making sure that I have the same margins from top to bottom. And so I'll go ahead and pull the line, the ruler here, and I'll go ahead and pull the other ruler here, pull one for the bottom, and then that gives me my margins. And then I can go ahead and delete these boxes. So now I have the appropriate margins. And remember, we said we were going to do 54 pages, so we can go ahead and add a page until we get to 54. And see, as you see here, the numbers are increasing. We have 6 pages, 7 pages. We can even select all of these pages, and then we can come here and duplicate. And then you see at the bottom, now we have 14 pages. We can duplicate it again. We have 21. Duplicate again. We have 28. So we'll do that till we get to 50. So now we have 56. So I'll just go and delete these 2 so that we have 54 pages. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start working with page 1 for this example. And for this example, page 1 can be our this book belongs to section. Bring that here. And then we can come to elements and we can search for a line, and we can just drag that out. I like to highlight both and then just kind of make sure it's centered and in the middle. And then we'll have our blank page, and then page 3 can be the first page of this coloring book. So we'll come on the left side of the page and we will search for Magic Media. If for some reason you don't see Magic Media on your left side, you can just go to apps and then you can search for it here. But I'm going to go ahead and go to Magic Media, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start describing an image that I may want. Let's try Black Girl Mermaid coloring page. Enter. Let's see if we pull this image in here, and let's just drag this. All right, and now, so you see how some of the areas have a little gray in it. If you want to go to edit image and then click on adjust, you can adjust the brightness. Sometimes I'll turn that all the way up, and then I'll also turn up the contrast, and then that way I can get as much gray out as possible. So then we'll skip a page and then we'll go to page 5. And let's say we want to use this one, just center it. Let's go to edit image again and adjust the brightness and the contrast. And you can even play around with the highlight, because you see if I move it this way, it's a little lighter, but if I move it to the left, it gives me kind of more sharp lines, more full lines, and I kind of like that. Let's try another prompt, simple Black Girl Mermaid with Afro coloring page. That one is kind of cute. So let's skip a page. And then the next page is going to be page 7, so we can move her in here. All right, so now we're going to generate a couple more images so you get the gist of how you can use Magic Media. All right, and one thing I forgot to add, if you want a border around your page, this is how you would create the border. You would just go and search for an element like a square, and bring that over and bring it to outline to your margins. And then you would click on border style, and then we're going to click border weight, and now you can see a black outline around it. And so we're going to click on the color, and then we're going to click on no color so we can make it transparent. And now you see that if we go and remove the rulers and guides, you'll see the border around the image. Another thing, let's say you wanted to make this book belongs to colorable, then you can just click on it and then go to effects. Then you would go to hollow, and then they can actually color in that section. And also, to make sure your images have the highest quality, you may want to upscale your images. And you can upscale your images by going to sites like vectorizer.ai. You would just drag your image in here, and then it would vectorize it. You would then be able to save it and then bring it back into Canva by uploading the file. All right, so once you have all of your pages, we would go to step number 3 and start creating our cover. For the cover, I always go to KDP cover calculator, and this is going to help us get the dimensions that we're going to need to start working on our cover. So for the binding type, we're going to be selecting paperback. And this is going back to using the same details that we talked about in step 1. The interior is going to be black and white. Paper type is going to be white paper. Reading direction is going to be left to right. Measurements are going to be inches. And then we are doing 8.5 by 11 inches. And then we have 54 pages. So then we can go here to calculate dimensions. So you can see the full cover width and height is here. And then you can also download your template. So when you download your template, you'll see 3 files. And so the one that I always save is the PNG file. You can just copy that file. And then we'll go back to Canva, click on create a new design, custom size. And then we're going to put in our new dimensions, which is 17.372 by 11.25. And then we're going to click on create new design. This is going to give us our full cover. Then we can just go ahead and paste in the template that we saved. And then we can go ahead and just pull that down to make it fit. All right, so now we have our full layout. This is going to be the front cover of the book. This is going to be the back cover of the book. Then I go back to Element. I go ahead and get a square, and I go ahead and just outline the whole thing with it. And then we can go to transparency, and then we're just making it a little lighter so that we can still see our background to make sure that whatever we're putting is not going to go outside of our margin. So let me just pull this down and explain this to you. So like I said, this is going to be the front cover of the book. So any words or images, we want to make sure everything is within those pink areas on the front and the back cover of the book. And this middle line where we see these dots, this is going to be the spine of our book. Pull this back up, and then we're going to start working on our cover. Go ahead and use the AI image generator. That brings us back to Magic Media. I'm going to go ahead and type in a prompt that I'm actually using from my Midjourney account, because I just want to see if I use the same type of prompt that I use for Midjourney, what the image will look like. All right, so this kind of helps you see I use the same prompt that I use for Midjourney, and I just want to show you the difference between the two. So these are the images that I got. And so when I use this same prompt in Midjourney, this is how the image looked that I got. So if you do like the quality of Midjourney better and you want to create a coloring book using Midjourney, I do have a full coloring book course that takes you step by step with how to create those prompts. The link will be in the description below. All right, so we're going to stick with one of these because, like I said, they still came out great. I'm going to go ahead and just use this first one, and I'm going to bring that here. I'm just going to fill her out as much as I can over on the cover. Now let's see if I can remove the background from this image and see if I could just have the outline of her. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we'll see. All right, so I actually like it. So I removed the background. Now the background remover is a pro feature as well. So like I said, click that link in the description if you wanna go ahead and get your free 30-day trial for Canva Pro. So now we're gonna bring in some text. I'm gonna add a heading, and this is where we can go to change the font of the text. Let's say something bold. So we're just gonna title it Mermaid Coloring Book. I'm actually gonna duplicate it so that I can keep these two words separate. So I'm gonna take this off, and then I'm gonna take this off of that. All right, now we have them separated. All right, so I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. So let's see if we could change the colors up, make that pink, make that, yeah, let's make it fun colors. Let's make this purple. Child, I don't know, just pick some colors. Make it mermaidy, fun, and colorful. Then I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna go to effects, and then I'm going to outline it. Yeah, that makes it pop. And let's outline it with black. So we have mermaid, and then we have coloring book. Let's see if we can get this to fit on one line. All right, now what color are we gonna make this? Let's make that purple, and then bring the effects, outline it black. Or should we make it white? No, not the, I don't want to make the outline white. Should we make the purple white? Mermaid coloring book. Made that white. I don't know what y'all like, the white one or the purple one. Let's just leave it white. Looks good. And so then if you decide to design your back cover, just make sure nothing is going over that barcode. Amazon is going to issue a barcode once the book is published. And make sure, like I said, no important elements go outside of those pink areas. As we can see, if we move it down, no important elements or anything is going outside of that pink area. I'm just going to make the spine of the book. So I'm going to go back to elements for my square. We're going to go ahead and bring that over here. Drag that down. These are the colors that are in the photo. So let's just keep it blue. Right, so now I'm going to bring this down so that we can see our template again. I'm going to click on the template and then just press delete. and then bring our cover back up. All right, so now everything is within the margins. Download this as a PDF print, flatten it, and then we'll go ahead and download and save it. And then we'll go ahead and do the same exact thing with our interior. Just gonna change the name of it to Mermaid Coloring Book Interior. We will go and download this as a PDF document as well. So PDF print and then flatten and then go ahead and download. For our last step, we're going to go to kdp.amazon.com and get ready to publish the book. Now, if you've never registered, you won't want to register for a new account. If you already have an Amazon account, you can use that same login information by going to kdp.amazon.com. And then we're going to click on the big yellow button that says create here. And then we're going to click on create paperback. And then we're going to go ahead and start working through the process. You will put your title information here, Mermaid Coloring Book. Of course, you'll want to do a little more research to make your title optimized. And then for your subtitle, you can look at other kids' coloring books. Like, for example, adorable illustrations for your young Black mermaid. All right, so we're not doing a series. We don't have an edition number. So here's where you'll put in your author name. Now, a lot of people do use pen names if they're publishing books. But if you want to build a brand, which is one of the things you know that I talk about on this channel, then you would enter all that information here. And then you would go here and you would create your description. I like to have some of the key elements in the description bold. And I also like to have bullets. So if you want to add bullets, you can just click here to do a bullet list. So I have Unleash Your Child's Imagination with Our Mermaids Coloring Book for Kids. This delightful coloring book is perfect for young artists who love to explore the underwater world and bring mermaids to life with their favorite colors. Product features, bullet points, 24 beautiful mermaid scenes featuring mermaids, sea creatures, and underwater landscapes. Creative fun encourages artistic expression and creativity, provides an hour of entertainment and relaxation. Variety of designs include a mix of simple and intricate designs suitable for children of all ages. For publishing rights, I own the copyright and I hold the necessary publishing rights. And just because I know someone is going to ask, we go to Canva and we search under the terms and conditions for Magic Media. Under the frequently asked questions, and I use Canva's Magic Studio features for personal and or commercial projects. You can use the content you create, including AI-generated text images for personal or commercial projects. So you can read up on their terms here. One thing I will add is when you are creating these coloring book images, you will want to do things to make them your own, because when you are using AI-generated images, although you can use it for commercial purposes, you want to keep in mind that sometimes when people are using prompts, they can generate very similar images to yours. So you don't want your book to look like someone else's. So always try to add additional elements to it and make it your own. For example, if you wanted to add text to it where someone could color under the sea, hollow it out. And then if you wanted to add that to maybe the top of it, just to individualize it a little bit. So you can search for additional elements that you may want to add to your page to make it uniquely your own. But I'll leave the link to Canva's terms and conditions in the description and just stay up to date with it in case anything ever changes. All right, so there we keep going. And so under primary audience, we're going to check no here. And then for your reading age, you can select one if you like. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Primary marketplace is going to be Amazon.com. And then here's where you're going to be choosing your categories. You can choose up to 3 categories that describe your book. Make sure you're just choosing categories that relate to your type of book. So for this type of book, you may want to go to children's book, and then activities, crafts, and games, activity books, and then coloring books. And then you would be able to select fiction or nonfiction, and then save your category, and then go ahead and add 2 more categories that are appropriate for your book. The next section is going to ask if your book classifies as low content or not. So because this is a coloring book, this would not be considered a low content book, because low content books are usually repetitive pages. And so your coloring book has different pages on each one. So you're not going to check any of those.
Here you're going to enter in keywords that are related to your book. Amazon lets you choose up to 7 keywords, highlighting your book's unique traits. So what I usually like to use is like short phrases in this section. And one of the things that I always do to find those phrases is I'll go back to Amazon and then I'll start searching for the type of book that I'm creating. So let's say for this one, I'm creating a mermaid coloring book. So I'll go ahead and start typing in mermaid, and then as I'm typing and I get to mermaid COL, then you start seeing search terms come up here. These are all keywords that you can answer if they're related to your type of book. So mermaid coloring books for girls 4 to 8. And then as you continue typing, you'll see more keywords coming up. So you see keywords like black mermaid coloring book. Those are the types of keywords that you will want to enter. All right, and so the publication date, you're just going to select publication date and release date are the same. And then under release date, you can choose what day you want your book. So usually when you submit your book, if you go ahead and click on release my book for sale now, then once Amazon approves your book, which usually takes up to 72 hours, your book will be released immediately once it's approved. But if you have a specific date that you want to schedule your book's release, then you can go ahead and choose the date that you want to schedule it. And then you would click on save and continue to go to the next section. Now, because I have a detailed video going step by step on how to upload your coloring book to KDP, I'm not going to go through each of the sections, but I did just want to bring out that when you go to the next section under paperback content, one of the sections I want you to pay close attention to is
AI generated content section, where it says,
did you use AI tools in creating text, images, and or translations in your book? You're going to select yes here. And then because you used it for the images, I'm going to go ahead and choose the most appropriate one. And then you're going to enter in the actual tool that you use to generate these images. And then of course, under manuscript, that's where you would put the interior file that we saved as a PDF. And then under book cover, you would just click here to upload a cover that you already have and then upload your PDF file there. Like I said, I will link my step-by-step video that walks you through in detail everything else that you would need to do to upload your book, but it's fairly straightforward, just following the steps that they ask you. And then once you get to the last section and you go ahead and put in your royalty information that you want to get paid, you review KDP's terms and conditions. I do always suggest that you request a proof copy of your book so that you can see it in person and make sure everything looks like you think it should. And then you go ahead and click on publish your paperback book. And then once it's approved, you will be a published author. Congratulations. So those are the steps to publish a book on Amazon. If you do need to watch the more detailed video about how to upload your book to KDP, you can watch that video here. And if you're ready to establish and expand your author brand and learn how to sell your book, you can join the waitlist for my marketing program at Book Bag University. And again, all the links that I mentioned will be in the description below. So make sure you share this video and let me know if you'll be considering AI to publish your coloring book. Until next time, bye-bye.